some of this, some of this. Oh Lord. Oh, God help me. Boy, I am only human sometimes. Lord have mercy. The nigga is out of perfume. Oh, and I don't want to go to the store. I don't want to go. Damn. Well, it's Monday. Thanks for the thumbs up. I swear to God, I would never gonna let y'all see me do that shit. I'm like, bucket. 2 tears in the bucket. I was hearing Cali slang. I really was. What the hell? Oh boy. Oh, he occur. Yeah, he occur. That's all I was hearing. What's up, y'all? Thank you for the thumbs up. Y'all, these people out here tripping. They tripping. Tripping. And, you know, I pray that everybody makes it through. Sincerely. Unfortunately, things have to get worse before they get better. But you know what I'm saying? Like, at what point do the bullies get put to shame? Damn. You know what I mean? Like, at what point do the bullies put to shame? Like, get put away for being the bullies that they are? I don't understand it. My lips are so happy with me right now. I left my lip gloss at home. Mind you, I got like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them. And I didn't have not one with me, not even my damn lotion. I said, ain't this a... I've been up all night making Dubai candy. I got taste. You know what I'm saying? Anything I have is gonna be the best for my clients, period. So yeah, I was, and then the cayenne pepper burnt my lips. Like it looked burnt right here, right here, right here. I said, damn. I know, but somebody like she hitting that crack pipe. Just the worst shit ever. Hopefully not, but god dang, I don't know what else to think. Dark marks on my lips. Jesus. Y'all can't see it now. Y'all can really only see it when they dry. You can really see it. That cayenne pepper burnt them lips up. I go through this probably at least once a year. hmm The last time that it happened, I think in 2024, was it? No, 2023. It was really good because I was poisoned and they did it. It left me with something like on my lips. And when the cayenne pepper burnt my lips, it made that go away. So then my lips would turn back to normal. And I was like, okay, cool. That's what's up. Y'all like, share, subscribe, please, and thank you. I was like, that's what's up. So, you know what I mean? And it probably happened for a reason. I'm almost really tempted right now to go eat some spicy food. And I don't need to. I don't know why, but I'm praying for everybody. I hope y'all are well where y'all at and doing okay. Um, you know what I mean? We need to train our children to really look out. You know what I mean? They do it over there in other countries, multiple countries, from a very young age. They teach them how to cook. They teach them how to drive. They teach them how to farm. They teach them, all the trades that they have. They teach them at a very young age. Americans are dumbed down. I've been talking about this. When I realized how much they dumbed us down, like it's the equivalent to taking a newborn and just throwing it out to the ceiling like you'll be okay. Hell no. That's how I felt. I felt like that when I felt like that when I had to leave where I was from with literally no experience to shit. I don't know what you're saying. So, anyways, with no experience, but I did pretty damn good. You know what I mean? Wish I would have been taught a whole lot more, but that's not the case, right? And I learned from experience. But one thing I have learned, I even tell my babies though, don't talk to strangers. You look out for people. Watch your head. Keep your head on the swivel. Watch your surroundings. Do things like that. I'm gonna teach y'all to drive. I was already preparing them for today, back in 2020, and I was pressing other people. But we can't help everybody because everybody don't want to help themselves, or they feel like, oh well, it's too much. It's too much. You're reaching. You know what I mean? So babies have their milk. Oh my god. So, anyways, y'all, I had the worst ever pain I have never had before. Well, I have had it before. It was years ago though. But yeah, I was already getting them ready. I had bottling and everything. So it's important to teach our children everything, especially psychology. This psychological warfare that they have us, that is going on, that's spiritual warfare. I hope y'all know that. There's a reason why they don't put psychology, in elementary school, junior high school. but they'll have you going through counseling to pretty much pick your brain and you know what I'm saying, to do all kind of shit. They do the total reverse in order to put you into their system. So we got to be much more aware of what's going on, you know what I mean, for our children, for real, for our future generations. Because if people don't wise up to what's going on right now, this shit is deep. The shit already hit the fan. I don't know what this nigga's about to do for this year, but it's about to be November. It was a day of September, the day I'll always remember. That was the day when my daddy died. Pretty, pretty privilege is a hell to the motherfuck no. We got to get our shit together. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers gotta stop discrimination over big back, whatever. If a motherfucker is intelligent, you cannot take that away from them, no matter how they look. Because you know what? Some of the smartest motherfuckers do stupid as fuck shit, and some of the prettiest, cute, fine as fuck motherfuckers is just retarded. And they want to remain that way, blissfully, and God will allow them to. So, um, so just know a lot of people what they call standards are not fucking standards. You have to understand that they are fucking entrapments. They are mental entrapments of what you've been groomed to believe. There's certain things, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. No, it's not. You gotta look deeper. You gotta do the research. Like, even if you think you know something, you gotta do the research. Even on what I say, do the research for yourself, please. I'm only speaking from my experience. But I see right now today, you don't need a gun. You gonna need a fucking goddamn what they call them things. One of my favorite pieces, a Gatling gun, and a motherfucking what you call them things? What do you call them things? Damn, that don't make no sense. I don't even know what the fuck the name of it is. Hold up. Y'all make the grenade you can fucking shoot at somebody, a missile. You need a Gatling gun, you need a fucking little side pistol, you need goddamn these motherfuckers are trying to do some stupid shit. You can't be peaceful and mind your motherfucking business for shit. I don't give a fuck what they look like. Oh, I got a confirmation. I don't know if we're gonna go over this video or what, but I was doing a video. If I'm not mistaken, last year or the year before, it was about Tales from the Hood and how that man was living in that old plantation, and them little dogs came out there painting and tore that ass up, boy. He was being racist. I mean, all the stuff that's going on right now is a total depiction. I fucking said that. I said that's gonna be a real thing. And on a spiritual level, that's just what it is. It's like ancestors. You still want to disrespect ancestors. Ancestors, they didn't have to. They don't have to wait till October. I'm telling you, they came early, and they will do damage. That's. Oh, he was on the news. I pray that they keep him safe and he keep himself safe. He's gonna be an awesome person. What's his name? What he call himself? Nature Jab. Nature Jab dude. Ooh, excuse me. But you see, we got people like Nature Jab dude. You know what I'm saying? Ah, just if these motherfuckers had to go back to where they came from, they wouldn't know. They still wouldn't know how to go there and mind their business on everything I love. And that's the sad thing part about it. Well, they had to go back where they came from. Like that man was tripping out. He was like, the frogs turned into females. They put this stuff in the water. They all turned into. You're going to turn back into the original source. Absolutely. They played on all of our tops. They wanted us to hate females. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit up here and sugarcoat shit. I said it on fucking on videos. I said the way I grew up, I fucking hated females, yo. The way I was bullied, every time I get bullied like that, I'm just like today I was thinking, I was like it's kind of like you just start to question your own reality and then you like, no, not this time, bitch. It's like, what the fuck? I be wanting to yell, what the fuck is wrong with you? I be wanting to yell, y'all. Y'all don't understand. I be wanting to yell at people. What the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you fucking with me? I don't understand people. Then they be like, oh, I'm proud of you. Thank you. Like, I'm fucking scared to say thank you or something. Like, it's the mind fuck for me. It's like if I'm cool with you, I'm cool with you, and if we ain't, we just the fuck ain't. There, you don't have to pretend. Jealousy. The one thing I understand, jealousy don't have a face. In when there's a whole conversation that is not said, but it's felt. That's how you know it's real. And that's pretty much what's been happening. But I like that. I like that because at least then I know I'm not crazy. And I know I ain't crazy then, there, or in the first place at all, right? It's just people really make you question your reality. Well, I can explain it like this. That was me reflecting. Okay? Process of me reflecting. Somebody picking with me, fucking with me, and treat me in that old slave man mentality. You are to be seen, not to be heard. And it got to be all about me. And you can't say nothing. And I want to be the topic of discussion. And I want to say everything in the discussion. I don't want you and this other person to talk. And it's like, where the fuck does this logic come from? It's like, god damn. It's toxic, yo. It's very toxic. And I'm like, bro. Some people at some point, man, this is why I say psychology is so important. At a very young age, psychology, not counseling. Dealing with your feelings, recognizing other people's emotions, their feelings, being able to read the fucking room. Help save so many lives. Thank you guys for the like, share, subscribes. Thank you guys so much. It helps save so many lives, yo. And it's just, it so does, and then apart besides the self-reflection, it helps people go through their own self-reflection is the whole process. It's the process of doing that rather than lashing out and hurting somebody or just like totally losing your shit. And then people looking at you like, why are you yelling? Because I'm frustrated to the end of me. And y'all like ridiculous as hell. And then instead of doing that, you know what I'm saying? Taking that deep breath. and just letting your shit go. And sometimes it's not that easy, but you can help save your life. You can help other people save so many lives just by doing that simple thing. And I could tell you, ooh, 444 on the clock. And I could tell you for facts because I lived that shit. Full blown pregnant with twins and two children. No, three. My babies was bad, so I don't know. My babies, like, I'm so proud of my children. It doesn't even make no sense. So, yeah, the happy feeling is I love to feel that feeling. Uh, my happy is for real. I can't stand when people dealing with people that say they grown, but they just so ignorant. And that's what these elites see. This is one thing that you learn throughout this journey. These elites will make it seem as if God is not blessing you, God is not helping you, God is not on the way to, what I mean, hand you your blessing. But when God just gave you the blessing, eventually, nigga, is that a stain on my baby sheet? That, I don't even know motherfucker stain. Okay. Anyways. I lost my train of thought. Shit. No, I'm not fucking tripping. I'm so meticulous about my place. I really am. But cooking, I thought about doing a live last night, but there was no fucking way. And I wasn't fully prepared like I wanted to be. But still accomplish the goals. You know what I'm saying? Networking is the shit. Get your children. Y'all gonna like at this point, y'all gonna have to get them phone accounts, saving. Y'all gonna have to get them so much right now just for them to be okay and stable. But teach them safety. I was definitely teaching my children safety. Don't show your background. I tell people, even YouTubers, I tell them for this fact. Motherfuckers want to find you. They want to count your steps. They want to see your whole inside and out. Motherfuckers do weird shit. Just to. So just COA. See the fuck away. Because they want to see, they want to track. They got somebody everywhere to help them with their shit, with their gang stalking. Y'all gonna have to teach your children right now about every fucking thing possible. Like it's not taking away their childhood. Would you rather be prepared? I'm pretty sure there are some things you can think about that you wish you would have had more knowledge on, been more aware of. Had I known that, I would have chose different. Give that to your child. That is a blessing. It's not a fucking curse. And I believe so many people have been taught, oh, well, that's the wrong way of parenting. And no, 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 no. Well, when shit is really going down and you're not around, just so happen, you might be asleep, they open the door, then the fuck what? You rather learn the hard way or the easy way. And that's just a basic, plain example, but it could be so much worse. You know, don't wish this on nobody ever. Um, but I understand, and I yet again, like I said, there's something that you probably have went through and was like, if I wish I would have known or been aware of, had I been taught, could have saved myself a lot of burden, a lot of burdens. So it is what it is, but it's not it's not all lost. But we need to be prepared for literally anything, simply because a lot of people just mind their business. A lot of people just have to go out and do what they got to do, and probably possibly be fucking around and be caught in some bullshit, and it was meant to be. You know, with God's will, we don't never know when, how, what, or where. But when you listen, you will miss the bullshit. When you listen, the bullshit will miss you. When you're in alignment with your assignment, God will guide, guide and heal you through anything. And I tell people, bro, go back and watch my videos, ask me a question. From my experiences, what I can explain to people, a lot of people would have lost their mind. I do know people that have lost my mind that I went to school with, that things happened to them and they just lost their shit. Like, and it was fucking sad to know these people or they lost their life, hanging around the wrong folks, and it meant to be only because the timeline that they were on, when they could have been on a different one, or, God, I don't know. You know what I mean? We don't never know the time nor the day. So, time traveling is astral projection. Is these people trying to control everything from the 4D level. And I'm pretty sure I forgot 4D has to do with time travel. Because I'll talk about all the dimensions. Shit, right now, I don't know. It just kind of flows to me naturally. It really do. Like, you get to a certain point, you just flow through life. And I have been flowing. I have just been flowing through life. It's not been easy, you know what I'm saying? I go through my own shit. But to be able to float through this shit that comes your way makes all the difference of you being a better version of yourself as opposed to being who they wanted you to be and how they wanted you to react. It's an energetic pool. It's a siphoning of the energy. You know? So don't let these people trigger you. Don't let them use you. Let's be good. Let's be all these things. And learn together and share each other's experiences so that we can help each other and help others that are going through a hard time. Sad to hear a girl from Jamaica took her life recently. You know, it's kind of crazy how some babies, and I understand why, the government system got a crash. It's going to be done here, I don't know, something like that. But too short, too short. But it's ending, and in its ending, what? It's going to be the month of 10 next month will be a level of completion. That's why they have the election on the 10th month. Y'all got to understand the masonry that they use throughout the months, times, days, and years in certain alignments. That's why they have the shit on the fucking 10 month. That's why they elect people. That is so annoying. Fucking annoying orange. I'm extremely sleepy, y'all. I did not know it was gonna fucking take me all night to do them chocolates. For one, I was like, I was using what I got first and foremost, and I was like, I want to do some pumpkin Dubai chocolates and some apple pie Dubai chocolates. So I had a plan in my head. I got the regular chocolates out the way. That's mine. You know what I mean? And then I did the other ones, but I wanted them to be round. And um, the only round, what are those things called? Mold that I had was, like a circle, but it was for ice, right? And it actually worked. Hello. Hey, Galaxy. I think you've been on here before. Long time no see. Um, it was a round sphere, right? And it came out bomb though, and it looked like a pumpkin. So I was gonna put the little some chocolate at the top of the head and put a pistachio at the top. It came out cute. Thank you. I appreciate your compliment for real. So you know, I like doing it. There's just so much. This world is so damn toxic. I don't understand. Shit. I don't know why we all just can't live free for real. Nobody should be better than the other or whatever. Oh, oh Jesus, my back. Oh wait, some braids, but ain't nobody gonna get in my head but me. I got the braid in there already. Uh, yeah, not right now. Maybe later. I just made myself a hair cream too. I was whipping it in the kitchen. I started to make a video. I'm whipping it in the kitchen. Whip it, whip it, whip it, whip it, whip it, whip it. I buy me a Cuban in the morning. Whip it, whip it. I'm in money. whip it, whip it. That's how I was been in the kitchen cooking. So my little pumpkin, my little chocolate pumpkin Dubai, it was the white chocolate. Did the little food coloring. Ah! The little vegan food coloring. Yeah, I still got the stuff sitting up here. I gotta clean up my house again after I just cleaned it, just to cook. Oh my God, that's how life is, right? I done got my clothes organized, but I'm thinking about even wrapping my clothes up, getting covers for my clothes, because it sucks sometimes to have neighbors. I can't wait till I have my own land to build my own fucking house, my own car, everything, yo. I can't wait. I cannot wait. My ass is mm, mm. I don't know. What the fuck? What is life supposed to be like? Is what I'm thinking. Like, what is life supposed to be like for a woman? If we not supposed to be like put in a inferior position of being barefoot and pregnant. It's not to say that that's what I want to do for the rest of my fucking life. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, I just want to fucking work from home. Shit, I already know what the fuck I want to do. That ain't the question. I just want to work from home, cook, clean, mind my fucking business like I been doing. That's it. I. That's it. I don't see nothing else. I don't see nothing else. Yeah. So I don't know. Yet to be remained or yet to be seen, heard, whatever. What I'm fixing to do is just hate the space because it's not. It's like it's like a fake kitchen. It's no cabinet space for where should go in the cabinet. There's just so much shit. It's so much shit to it, but it's okay. You know what I'm saying? I ain't definitely not complaining. You know, you can always be worse. But me trying to chill, something irritating me. Um, okay, let me see. But Mama T and that doctor, they had some juicy stuff. They was talking about pretty much what I've been saying. I got the spiritual experience for that shit for sure. Definitely got some new information as well. It was really good. That shit about 2 hours and 39, 40 minutes long. I can't even skim through it. I don't even want to do y'all like that. I ain't gonna lie. This YouTuber name, AXIOM dash AMNESIA, YouTuber, Tales from the Crypt. Oh no, Tales from the Hood. Dolls were a prophecy. Hood dolls were a prophecy. The hood dolls from it says the tales from the Good dolls were a prophecy. We could listen to a bit of this.
And so we have like a 5 or 6 video playlist that I'm going to link in the description. This is called in Power. Flaunts himself. He's flouting history. He weaponizes nationalism and he uses patriotism to shield himself. And it really reads like a prediction of our current political climate.
But this doll, it's a way station for lost souls.
So the first introduction we get to this
It's a way station for lost
when
souls.
Mr. Sam comes out and he shows this doll.
That's many souls in one vessel. Remember, I told y'all how different things can be embodied by spirits, by entities. And then I was like, I asked the question, I made the question, I was like, God, why these people get fucked up like that? I'm like, wait, the ghost bending the fingers all the way, like all the way back. Like, nigga, how do you do that in real life? But apparently ain't nobody standing there with these things. Shit. But God showed me, I did say shit hit the fan. Oh, Lord. Yeah. Oh, my ear just started ringing.
And he's like, this doll is a way station for lost souls. Proximity to whiteness has him believing that, you know, hey, I'm safe, kind of, I'm not going to be criticized. I am, I'm acceptable. I dress in a suit and I speak, in a certain way. So I'm going to be treated in a certain way. When in reality, he is being used willfully, right? Because he gets paid a lot of money on a daily basis to go there and to run interference for this, racist politician. And the thing to take away, though, as we're about to see what happens to Roy, is that his proximity to whiteness will not save him from what is coming from that retribution that is the dolls will be enacting.
Right. So one big part of this is the plantation, right? The plantation just serves as a set. It serves as a character, basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why the reason that everything happens in here. We know just not long ago, the Nottoway plantation in Louisiana burned down, which was probably the second largest plantation, right? But at the time that this film was made, there was one that's very close, probably next door, Bell Road Plantation in Louisiana, burned down in the 50s, I believe. It was. They don't know why. It just burned down, right? But then in this film, we see that actually, if this happened, you'll be like, I don't know what happened with this guy who fell down the stairs, or this guy, what happened at the end of this story, right?
Yeah.
It'll just be like this mystery. We don't know why these plantations caught fire.
And we can't ignore the connection in what happened to the Nottoway plantation that people tried to make between the possessed doll, the haunted doll, Annabelle, right? So here's the story is about dolls that happened a long time before Annabelle, and basically the long and short of it, and y'all can go look up Annabelle. They believe that when the doll moved from someplace else and they brought the doll kind of on tour and sold tickets or whatever, and they brought the doll to Louisiana on tour. And this was around the same time that 10 inmates escaped from jail in New Orleans under very mysterious circumstances. And then also this plantation burned down. And when I tell you the tears of people when that plantation burned down was just disgusting. I mean, it was a whole spectacle, but our people showed up like we do in unique fashion, and I loved it. There were some of us who were right in front and live from the scene, vlogging and making videos showing that thing burned right to the ground. And so that was a joyous day for some, but other people who had planned their weddings there, who just, such a beautiful place. But the thing is, don't you connect the horrors that went on there? How can it be a beautiful place? But you just ignore that because you don't care, because you just want to have a wedding. You don't care what happened.
So you may be planning your wedding there because of what it signifies, what it symbolizes, right?
And I'm glad you brought that up.
Stomping on the graves of the people.
At a minimum, you want to ignore the history. But, like you pointed out, at a maximum, it is a dog whistle, right? It is showing who you are. Like we discussed, it is signifying who you are. But you never want to say it outright. But we're actually coming in the days where people are saying it outright. They just come in and they just are going to say it straight out because it's what it is. But, the other thing that is happening now, though, is when we look around the country, suddenly the Confederate monuments that have been torn down are being returned to their place. The question I always had was, why, when they took them down, they were not in honor of Confederates, but yet now these names are being rolled back to the old names. We see that. So again, but these are all symbols that stoke the fires of, the South will rise again type of talk. You know what I'm saying?
Them doing
tracks, like clearly there's this vibe that's going on. And he's just like, this picture is creepy. It's a creepy picture.
always got to expect Phoenix. Things kind of creepy, don't you think? We've all heard the phrase or the saying, "A picture is worth 1,000 words." But there is this cliche of how cameras can steal your soul, right? Or cameras steal a soul. And he picks up a camera, and then we are going to get into a portion of this film where they're basically, I guess, filming each other, you can say. Yeah. Right? And then we have this whole thing that's going on in the background with the souls and the dolls.
He senses, right? He feels a connection as, his own heritage, right? His own people having met their end as a result of the heinous things that went on this place. And he's connected to that, whether he wants to be or not. And this is why he's so creeped out by it. Because the funny thing is that Duke, who is just a whole demon, is not creeped out at all.
They pan down under the floor, and we see this doll just laying there. The same doll from the scene before with Mr. Sims.
Yes.
I think that it's quite unfair to judge me or anyone else by the misdeeds of his ancestors.
Brody is filming Duke, and he's trying to answer these questions, right? He's trying to train him on how to answer the questions in a way that, would be best and not, and rehab his image, right? And so one of the things that he points to is like, as an ex-Triple K member, should voters be concerned about that, blah, blah, blah. And he gives him this wording that, it's like we all have a past and we need to learn from our failures and be better for it, and how it's unfair to judge for the misdeeds of our ancestors, blah, 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 right? And then he jokingly says, well, what about the ghost stories or whatever? And then Brody says to him, he's like, oh, well, the only spooks that I'm afraid of, speaking as Duke, right? The only spooks I'm afraid of are the ones with guns, right?
The only spooks that I'm afraid of are the ones with guns.
And so here we have a play on words. We know that spooky, ghost is like one thing, but we also know that that is a derogatory term, a slur, essentially, right? And so he's using a double entendre to do that, but he's just joking, right? He's like, no, don't say that. But at the end of the day, he's having this friendly banter with this known lowlife as he's trying to teach him how to get over on his own folks.
And then the doll that we've seen a couple times teaches him a lesson.
Yes, he does.
At that moment. So we see that while he's saying, all right, I'll tell you what to really say, he trips, he falls down the stairs, and he is no longer with us. But we do see the doll sitting there on the floor as he falls.
Yeah, and another thing I wanted to point out from that is that he uses the term traditional American values.
Right.
We know that is like a dog whistle for sure.
Yeah, and we know exactly what that is. Even if it's not a dog whistle, we know what the traditional values of America.
Money, his capitalistic pursuits are what allowed him to sell out his own folks. Because I mean, surely he has relatives who were negatively impacted by having this person be a governor. People you are blood related to are going to be negatively impacted. But what would motivate him to say, well, whatever, I really don't care that much. The money is what motivates him, right? And because we live in a classist society, then generally speaking, the more money that you have, the higher you're going to be able to kind of move up the rungs.
But as we see, there are Black people who fall for the rhetoric, right? And a lot of this is about rhetoric, right? Because you have the people who he could kind of represent, sort of like Senator Byrd and George Wallace, right? He's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not racist anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's reframing those arguments for people, and then you get a lot of, as we see today, who have been bashed over the head with this for 4 decades, 5 decades, and they are just totally saying the exact same things.
Right, and I also want to point out how these bigoted folks, I made a statement earlier that they're not dumb or whatever. I'm specifically talking about the people who are crafting these messages, about the people who are making the plans for how they're going to, they are the ones who pivot, they are the ones who, put out the propaganda so that people will eat it up. And then what you have is a huge base of people who are vulnerable and gullible, right? And so because many of them do not understand and know history, I'm talking about the people who are perhaps the well-meaning people who listened to an argument and they thought, hey, this doesn't sound so bad. On the surface, they're saying, of course I never said anything that would incite people. Of course I never said hateful rhetoric. And this is how we get to the point that when, things happen, like happened recently to a high-profile person, then folks are like, but he was the one who just wanted to talk it out. But in the case of a lot of people, the mouth has become the sword. And that is what he used to divide people, to mislead people, to incite people to the things that ultimately are happening to other people. So I think that we also have to recognize that a lot of people, now we got the ones who just are, driven by their hate and their greed, and that's, we see and understand what that is. But there is a huge swath of people who think that they're doing the right thing because of their perhaps religious convictions, and the people are saying the right things that appeal to them for that. And the people are saying the right things because they're distressed because of the economy, and they don't know and understand enough about history and current events, right, to be able to rightly divide what's happening, to be able to read the writing on the wall. How do you read the writing on the wall if you are illiterate? So that's what we are, and a lot of people are politically illiterate and historically illiterate as well. For those of you who don't know, you should visit axam.app, and you'll be able to look at all of the recent videos across all of our channels, and I'm putting that on the screen right now just so y'all can see it and see what it looks like. Because members and our YouTube members. So, if you're interested in more of our content, as I've seen many of you binge watching, it says, it's just an unfortunate accident. But then he goes on to use almost the exact same wording that Rhodey had told him.
I think it's unfair to judge me or any other person about the misdeeds of the ancestors.
He catches himself because he was about to say, the only spooks I'm afraid of are the ones with guns. But then he's like, the only spooks I'm afraid of are, and he catches himself and he's like, you reporters,
Well, the only spooks I'm afraid of are you spooky reporters.
And then he is trying to hop into his limousine, but he's caught by Eli.
So want you there. Now you best to leave, or you'll end up just like him.
Now we have a situation where Eli has confronted him, and he's like, the dolls do not want you there.
But he say, you best leave, or you'll end up like him, talking about Rhodey. And he say, heed my warning. But I'm like, just let him. Let the dolls do what they gonna do to this fool.
That's how I feel, right? Let the dolls do what the dolls do. Sometimes we could just, just be quiet and let the dolls work, okay? And so he says that, and then of course Duke is like, I'm not leaving, I'm not leaving this house, I'm staying, so, just get over it, and has the nerve to say, what?
Can we all just get along?
People throw in just, and I don't think that's the quote from Rodney King.
Yes.
Can we all get along? I think is what he said, right?
I think it's, can we all get along?
Can we all get along? Can we get along?
The thing about it is a clear, flashback to Rodney King. Gotta remember, this movie is 1995. Rodney King happened in 1991. So this is very fresh. This is only a few years before that Rodney King happened. This is fresh in the minds of the people who are watching it. They definitely would have gotten this reference. So if you're watching it decades later, like now, you need to understand that this is directly talking about Rodney King. And the significance of Rodney King saying that in that moment was because it was viewed as if Rodney King, after everything that happened to him, we all have seen the video, is saying, don't worry about what happened to me anymore. Let's just quell the upheaval that happened as a result of people being outraged about, what the police did.
Right. And then we did see earlier in this tale where people were protesting outside of the plantation and all of this. So then here he comes to this moment. Can we all just get along? But trying to say that even if there are souls and dolls, can't we all just get along? And basically saying that, I can't take account for the misdeeds of my ancestors as well, and to basically just squash everything and let us just continue to rule and benefit from whatever happened back in the day. What Duke is doing, he's causing trouble and conflict, right? And getting along is to allow to continue to cause despair.
And I want to get back to that point you just made about, this idea of it being unfair to judge a person for the misdeeds of their ancestors. But, and I've noticed from a lot of the comments, because we had comments about the Crazy K story and all of the other tales that we discussed from this movie, and some of you are under the wrong impression that the people who created this system of evil and that is maligning and subjugating folks, that those people are less responsible than are the people who are operating within the system. And specifically, we were talking about, the people who take the lives of, other Black people versus the people who set up the system. And a few of you were like, oh, the people who take the lives of your own people, that's worse. I'm here to tell you that is not worse. The people who set up the system are the evil ones.
Exactly. You just got to use a bunch of logic. So you have people who are responsible for the deaths of millions of people.
Millions.
Who you say are worse than one person. But let's just say the person is white and they're not a supremacist and they kill another white person. Are you going to say that they're worse than the racist white person who is trying to destroy Black people?
Well, you would never say
No,
that.
yeah, never. But the point is that they've done a number on us to where we look at ourselves as if we are worse than even the worst of them.
Well, and that's why what they have done has worked. The fact that there are people who actually argue that point has worked. And to all the people who say, it's unfair to judge me because of the misdeeds of ancestors, most of the people today won't even suggest that it was their own ancestors who had any part in it. Okay, let's talk about that. But even if they did, they're like, I didn't do it, and therefore, but guess what? You are the direct beneficiary of it. The money that is passed down, the policies that are favorable to you that still exist today, things like redlining and stuff that make it harder for us, there is a responsibility to be had.
Yeah, but it's not just that. It's, shouldn't be judged for the misdeeds of my ancestors. You want to be judged for what it is actually doing, right? But you are doing the same things.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So that is, we're judging you on your deeds, and we're taking into account how we got here, right? It's not, because that's what you said, because of the misdeeds of the ancestors is why certain things are in place, right? And it's what you're doing right now. So your deeds as well.
And the hard part about it all is that there's no easy way to level the playing field. This tale talked about or lightly touched on things like affirmative action and whatever. All of the stuff that has been tried to institute, they've tried to legislate it and all of that to try to make things a little more equal. But the reality is that when people do not want things to be equal, there's nothing you're going to do that's going to be able to make it fair. Because at the end of the day, people who are like Duke are only for themselves, and they are fine to step on the necks of everybody else.
And once you have a ball rolling downhill, it just keeps going.
Yeah. But don't be fooled. Do not be fooled into thinking that, the small people, the little pawns, they are just operating within the system that has been set up for them. And yes, they are wrong. What they do is absolutely wrong. Don't get me
But there
wrong.
are people who are more wrong.
But there are people who are more wrong, and you gotta get that part of it right. Rodney King, that reference to Rodney King, one of the things we have to realize also is that people like you will bring up reference to our victims, the people who we look at and say this should not have happened. They'll bring them up, they'll reference them, and then they'll play in your face with them, either direct but that is also the point, is to try to make you feel like, oh, I see you, I know this, and I'm playing in your face to let you know.
MLK's popular quote about content of the character, right? But the thing is that this whole part about going back and forth with the media is that the media is always a problem when generally the media, they really just spit straight facts for the most part, right? And they may be twisted and biased in what they choose to cover, right? But the media represents straight facts, or they're asking a question. A lot of times all they do is ask a question, and then you get the responses that you get, right? Where people talk about how debate is fostered, by asking questions and all of this, right? But somehow just asking the question is an affront or it's nefarious, so that the people who know they're wrong because just stating the facts is counter to what we consider right, then they just go all off on the media, as we see over and over again now, go off on the media. It's like, don't ask me that question, how y'all do this, and
You're gonna be jailed, right?
We're gonna put you in jail, put you on this list, and you're gonna be investigated. That's what they're doing.
And then on an international level, if we look at what has happened to the people on that small strip of land that somebody said that they wanted to turn into basically a casino, that in a resort, that they actually
took out the journalists.
Yeah, they took out the journalists. Yes, they took out the journalists. So they said, oh, this is where the journalists are standing. Let's just take them out because these are the people on the ground who are going to tell the truth on them, and they want to control the messaging that goes out. And if you don't realize that the messaging is controlled, let me just tell a little story. I remember, and I don't know what year it was, when the North Korean leader Kim Jong-il, when he died, right? That's the dad of the guy who's in charge of right now. Right. And so as part of the mourning process for this, there were, the cameras were out and everything, and they were showing people like wailing. They were supposed to be wailing in the street. And so the camera panned past this one woman who was pretending to cry, but she wasn't really. And you and I looked at her there, and I was like, oh man. And then when she realized the camera was on her, she started wailing again like she was crying. And we laughed in that moment. But when I tell you we are fastly approaching the time when everybody has to appear to be on board, we are there. We are there.
Right.
The journalist.
There's consequences. If she's not doing that on camera, then she's going to be targeted.
Yes.
We see the rhetoric now. That's what they're saying. That's what they're actually doing.
Yes.
Making lists and all those things of people who don't put on a certain front publicly.
Yes.
Right? And the public actions translates to basically policy and how everyone's treated and how things go and how easily it's done. Right? But see, even the whole thing of, they go from, don't judge by ancestors, right? My ancestors. Don't say anything negative about those who we've all agreed have those major misdeeds.
Yes.
Right?
Don't say anything about them. If you say something, you're
about it.
fired from your job.
From the museums, right? Get rid of it out of schools. Get rid of all of these things that they have told you they didn't want what they were going to do for the past 40, 50, 60 years, right? Ever since the Civil Rights Act, of course, because that was a big turning point. And then the plan has been put forward, and now we're to the point where it's actually with the power behind it being implemented very quickly.
Yes, and on top of that, we had a situation where, Eli, the guy here in the picture, he warned Medgar. He said, look, you're gonna get what's coming to you if you don't go ahead and leave. But he's just like, no, he's gonna stay there. He disrespected the memorial of what happened. So this is sacred ground because of what happened on that plantation, and they don't want him in there with his ideologies and everything, disrespecting the memories of the people who lost their lives there, right? But he's like, yeah, I'm gonna do whatever I want to do, and but now we also see, we brought up the erasure, the disrespect and erasure of anything to do with this history in the United States of slavery, right? So like they're at the different national parks, at the was that nothing negative. It was an executive order. The King's decree said nothing negative can be, or that puts America in that can be said about like any of these past presidents, founding fathers, those people, and that we're not going to tell the true history. Essentially, they're just whitewashing everything. So pretty soon, just like we saw things being removed from textbooks and everything like that, this is a whole other reason why we have to maintain and know our history, do our own writings, and we cannot lie, document, make, and not just video. We got to document and back up.
Like just document this is happening right now. That's why we talk a lot about history and stuff. That's the things that the lessons come from. That's how
I'm so sad to see, like, even though I knew and I saw and I believed, like, okay, this is not good, like, to actually see it happening is very sobering. But yet, even by the trickery, by the manipulation of the arguments that they put out, you have people like, well, why would they say that it's about free speech when we all understand? Because to have you just spinning in a circle, arguing over what doesn't matter. They just sending you off. That's the point.
Yeah.
And fall for it.
Right, and we talked about the erasure of history, right? And basically not being able to show it. People always cry about how, the schools won't teach this, right? It won't say this, and they're not teaching children about this no more. They're taking this out of museums. They're taking this onto the government website. And then, not another slave movie. And that, you, please comment.
So it's tough. And I remember, okay, so a lot of you guys may not know if you haven't listened to our origin story. It's a video that is posted on our intro video for our channels, right? And so we used to have a podcast, the Axiom Amnesia Theory podcast, right? And we had that before we even started any of these videos, before we were talking about that, and we did social and political commentary. And one of the things we used to always say is that there is going to come a day when the train leaves the station, and there's no going back. Like if you didn't heed the warning, if you didn't listen to the call, if you didn't hear the drums beat saying, "Hey, look, we going north," then all we can do is try to leave the breadcrumbs for you to be able to follow along and follow the tracks, follow where the train went, because it's leaving. It has left the station.
And that also applies to things being enacted, right? Because the train has already left. And then you just figuring out that, okay, I need to look at the train schedule, and then everybody's talking about how there's this train, y'all. This train comes at this time, and let me tell you, it operates like this. It's too late.
And for that reason, breadcrumbs. Okay, editorial note number 15, and make sure you edit this part out. Basically, we will make sure that, people will be able to come back and, understand what we are talking about, and reading the subtext of everything. So, hopefully, people will understand the breadcrumbs. So this portion, by the way, editor, we're going to edit this out. So this portion is going to be edited out, but the goal here is that along the way, we're going to have breadcrumbs that we lead people to let them know, where to go. The Yellow Brick Road, follow the call of that Underground Railroad, you get what I'm saying? So that discussions can be had without everybody and their mama thinking, that they are going to show up, because we just like before, somebody going to be mad, so the people who can find it, will find it. Those people who are keen enough and paying attention will know, and then the other people who are just on that nonsense, they won't find it, and that'll just be okay, because these are breadcrumbs, because the train has left the station, as we were talking about. The people, so what we'll do in those videos is there will be a link in the description that will take them to a page that will give them the next stop on the station, the next station on that proverbial Underground Railroad to help navigate through things. They'll have to enter, they'll gain access based on the breadcrumbs. They'll gain access, and then we'll take it from there on the videos. All right, so I'll make it Duke. He hops in the limo and he pulls away from Eli.
I think that what he's saying is that reparation will be what we will see what happened to Duke in this film. And we seen what happened to Rhodey. So if you're over there doing whatever you do, they're gonna get some reparation.
Duke's in the car and he looks down and he sees this wall.
Stop the car.
The doll is literally
Was it this moment that you realized that the dolls was coming for your ass?
later on presumably that night, we have Duke, and he's playing back the tape of when Rhodey was explaining to him how to, say whatever words he needed to say, right? And then when he stops it, he realizes that the doll is there with his legs stuck out. And that the doll is the one who actually tripped Rhodey and made him fall down the stairs backwards.
Bruh, that's where you throw in a little comedy. Then Duke realizes that one of the dolls from the drawing or the painting is gone.
So then we have this kind of long sequence where we are in the point of view of one of the little dolls. And the doll is running across the lawn, and we hear the doll breathing and the pitter-patter of the feet and the crunching of the lawn under the feet. And then there's a knock at the door. In the meantime, Duke is freaking out, and he's just calling like, hey, y'all need to get back here because something is wrong.
Something wrong here.
So then there's a knock at the door. And he goes to the door. He doesn't see anybody. And then he's looking around like, what in the heck is going on? And then you hear the pitter-patter of the little feet. Well, if entered, he's not looking down, right? So presumably the doll has run through his feet and is now in the house. I heard the pitter-patter of the feet, and he sees that the doll is like sitting on a step with his legs swinging, but he's still not moving. He's just still, and he's looking at it, and Duke says,
Did you little black ass come?
he's talking to this doll, and he's like, there'll be no reparations. I don't care how many folks had lost their lives here. There will be no reparations.
You think you and some old voodoo bitch can scare me out of my house?
And it's funny because they're doing that, but we all understand that Duke is not going to be the one to decide, the final end to this.
The dolls don't want to there because of the ancestors, your ancestors, or the dolls don't want you there because of what you represent. Right? Because I think that could be a commentary on how a lot of people in that time and in these times speak about it. Right? It's, I don't think like my ancestors did, or I'm not doing what they do. But what you do believe in what you push. It's not all.
Yeah, you're just doing a modern day version.
Because if you were a different politician, it wouldn't be like this for you, right? But what you're doing is you're an extension of those same policies. You're an extension of your ancestors, right? You are the evolved version.
And certainly not as distant from the things that they were doing as we think, because in his mind it's all about who actually, quote, took the life. But he's not thinking about all of the, I'm sure,
Generational curses.
He was a Triple K member, ex-Triple K member. He might have actually participated in things where it was a direct thing where he did something to somebody's life. But if you're going to become a politician, or even if you're rich, because he seems like he probably has a lot of money, right? So even if you're rich, you're part of policies that hurt other people, and in fact, in many cases, can lead to early deaths and things like that of people.
Duke is looking around for the dog, can't find a dog, gets frustrated, grabs an American flag to go and beat the painting with, the painting of Miss Cobbs. And blood starts to come out of the actual painting. But yeah, you just already know what it represents. Beating the black woman with an
And let us not forget that, he calls her a voodoo bee, right? Even before he says that, he says it multiple times too. Now we see the doll actually moving. Before this, we had never seen the doll actually moving. The doll is swinging across the chandelier and swings over and attacks Duke. And Duke is able to finally pull him, but the doll bites him, and he's able to pull him off of him, and he takes that same American flag and is beating this doll with the flag.
He lost all decorum for the flag because he let it touch the floor.
I'm gonna blow off the balls.
Then he, proceeds to, blow the doll away. And what's crazy to me is that in the process of his rage about how you are enacting these, this violence against the dolls, which are the holder of the soul of people, so you might as well say that they're the people.
Well, you actually stringing them up how slaves would be done and stuff like that. And he's just being very extra, like, why do you need to do all this? Duke comes back in, talks smack, and then he goes to the painting, and he just realizes he done messed up because my dolls are missing from the painting.
Not even some voodoo bitch nigger spell that don't come to power a double barrel shotgun.
Oh, there it is.
Then he cowers and he tries to cover up with the American flag. So he tried to use it kind of as a shield or maybe for comfort. And that symbolizes, really what happens, right? When you get confronted, you speak to like American.
All right, y'all. I'll tune in later with y'all. Be great. Let my phone charge.
Let's all get along. And, a lot of
Don't
times
give up. You are awesome. You are worthy. You are worthy.
Yeah, or let's take it
Love
back.
you guys.